Hi everyone. So I wanted to discuss, well, first off, I'm sorry that I haven't, I know you're all so disappointed that I haven't been on Facebook, but yeah, I took kind of a break over the weekend, and I'm not happy that I did that. I wish that I'd been keeping up with you guys, because I like that I'm kind of commentating on my emotions and my emotional development, spiritual development. But I have been, yeah, I've been, my brain's just been somewhere else. But I wanted to come on and start doing this again, get back to you all. But I wanted to talk about an experience that I had last night and sort of the fallout from it. You know, if anybody has been watching this, I'll just recap something really quick. I went through a breakup recently with someone who we both still love each other very, very much and wanted to be together and wanted to live our lives together, but because of outside circumstances, we had to break up. And I have been dealing with that and trying to, because this is in the aftermath, this is after I have come out of a depression, and I've never dealt with breakups in a good way ever in my entire life. So I'm learning a new way. I'm navigating these emotions, these challenging emotions, in a completely different way that I'm used to. And that's sort of what I've been talking about and trying to make maybe like a case study for you guys. I don't know. Hopefully I'm helping. So it's been about a month and a half since I spoke to my ex the last time. And several months ago, he expressed some interest in buying some real estate, because that's something that I've been involved in for a while now. Like, I don't own any right now, but it's something I've been looking into and studying and becoming part of a really good community about it. And my plans for the future include it. Not that any of that matters or is relevant to the story. The point is, he too realized that that is the best way to generate and create stable wealth. So he was looking into buying. He had gotten approved and everything like that, and I had referred him to a friend of mine who was a realtor, who I really trust, and he's a fantastic realtor, Howie Harrington, if anybody else needs a referral in Massachusetts or Rhode Island. So they've been in touch, and my ex had been back visiting family back in his country of origin in Egypt, and he came back, and just like last weekend, and he called Howie and told him that he had been laid off, and so he wouldn't be looking right now. And this is a hard hit. I'm devastated for him. Like, it's been a really tough few months for him, and I know he's suffering, and it just seems like there's been, you know, those times in life where it's just one thing after another. You know, so the last thing that happened is he had to break up with the woman that he's absolutely in love with and wants to live the rest of his life with, but can't because of a circumstance that's beyond our control. You know what I mean? His father died relatively recently, and he's got to bring his mother over from Egypt because that's a long story. But that's not going to be a fun time. It's not going to be a fun time. So there's just a bunch of things that are going on in his life, and that he's just lonely. He's alone. You know, before, when we were together all the time. Not in a codependent way, but we just loved being together. So we were together all the time. So when I'm not there, he's got one friend up here, really, that he socializes with. And that guy's married and has a baby, so he's not around a lot. He gets to see him on the weekends. And I know he's lonely at night after he comes home from work. And now he's home alone all day long. And all I want is for him to be happy and have friends and go out and enjoy his life. And I know that's not what's happening right now. So I was devastated to hear that he had been laid off. And they did it in a really shitty way too. Like a really shitty way. A really shitty way. You know, like, if you're going to do that to somebody, do it nicely. Do it in the best, like in a way that's best for them. Like, come on. So I was really upset. And I am very upset and sad for him. And just, it's almost like, I don't know, I reached out, I sent one text, and I was like, hey, Howie told me about the job. I'm here if you need someone to talk to. And that was it. And he said, he texted back and said thank you, and that he appreciated it, and that's it. And I didn't expect him, because regardless of what his job situation is, the situation between us hasn't changed at all. So it's not like, and we can't be friends, because every time we've tried, we can't be friends. We end up just being together again. So I've been like, last night I woke up several times just thinking about it, and like my heart just sinks and my stomach clenches up, and then my heart clenches up and my stomach sinks, and but I'm handling it. And in the past, I might have just texted him like a mad person and called him. I mean, and luckily I don't have my car anymore, because I know I would have jumped into my car and gone down there to see him and to see if he was all right, and to offer whatever comfort I could. But that wouldn't have been helpful in the end. It might have been a Band-Aid, but it wouldn't have been helpful, because we would have just had to say goodbye again, and we've said goodbye too many times. So I just was crying, and I wish there was something I could do, but there's not. And after having listened to Michael Singer a bunch of times over and over again, the way I'm handling this is that I'm allowing myself to feel these painful emotions by relaxing and unclenching my body, breathing deeply, and being okay with the fact that I'm feeling them. I mean, and earlier I've been trying to do this, like when I first started doing this, I was not okay with feeling that way, but I was okay with not being okay. And that's just something that you have to work at, because it's not going to just happen. You just have to keep working at it and doing it every single time, and it gets easier and it gets better. So now I'm actually okay with having the emotion. I'm not happy about it. That will come later, right? But I'm okay with it, and I'm realizing that it's beautiful. I mean, it's the sadness and just this love I have for him, and we had this beautiful relationship, and I'm so grateful for it. And it changed both our lives for the better in so many ways, in such big, huge, life-changing ways, and I'm grateful for that. And of course I'm going to feel sad losing that, and of course I'm going to be distraught thinking about him suffering, but that doesn't help anything. So I relax and I allow myself to feel what I feel, because like pushing it away will just keep it blocked, keep it in me, right? And anytime I start thinking, like really concentrating on the thoughts of him being alone by himself, which I'm not even going to go into, but all those thoughts that I have and all those visual images I'm having that make my heart just like bleed, I'm not paying attention to those. I am paying attention to something else. And inside, that feels a little bit like I'm being cold, or like I don't care. But what I am causing myself to realize is that that isn't true. I do care deeply, but I am not helping him, and I am not helping myself by agonizing and having those pictures and thoughts in my head of it. It doesn't help. It doesn't help anything. Whereas I used to think it did somehow, because it proved how much he meant to me and how much the relationship meant to me. And if I didn't do that, it meant I didn't care. But I know that I do. And I don't know. it doesn't benefit me or him or the world to have these low frequency emotions, these vibrations put out into the world, you know, because our emotions and our feelings and our thoughts have vibrations. They're literally energy, and they go out into the world and join the rest of the energy, right? And there's enough sadness and stress and despair and distraughtness and anxiety out there. The only way to actually help is to concentrate on the love and the joy that we brought each other and all the goodness that there was in the relationship, and allow those feelings to go out into the world. And yes, sadness too, but that's not the main thing, and it's a beautiful sadness because it comes from love, just pure love. And yeah, so I'm sending that, I'm concentrating on that, on all the good things and all the wonderful feelings that I ever felt. And hopefully, I mean, who knows, in my imagination, it goes out to him and comforts him in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how. I'll leave that up to the universe. But that also makes me feel better. But I think the key things I'm learning are that I don't have to feel terrible. I don't have to purposely go through and make myself upset and anxious and distraught and helpless feeling in order to show that I care, in order to prove to myself or whatever that I care. That's number one. Number two, doing that actually is very detrimental and not useful and doesn't help. It actually hurts, right? Hurts me, hurts the world, because I'm sending that energy out, and I'm adding to the stress in the world. So, not useful. It actually damages. I can choose a different way of thinking and being that does actually help the world, and hopefully him. Certainly more than me fretting about it helps him. Certainly. You know, and this is just a more positive way of being and a better way to live life. But I am still dealing with that guilt from that false belief that I need to be feeling bad in order to, or else I don't care. Like my weird belief that if I don't feel absolutely horrible and I don't continuously go back to those thoughts that make me feel horrible, that shows that I don't care if I don't do that. That's something I have to do some work on. But this morning I let myself cry. I relaxed. I let the energy flow through me, and it came and it went. You know, and I'm sure I'll cry again for a while, but I can let it go, and that is a big deal. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share. I hope that's useful for anybody out there who might. Woo! My alarm. I have an alarm set every 2 hours that says things like, approach challenges with gratitude, and what seeds are you watering? That one was approach challenges with gratitude. So I am grateful for these challenges that I have been facing, these emotional challenges. I'm grateful because I am growing so much as a person, and I'm learning so much, and hopefully I'm helping others go through whatever they're going through, learning to deal with it in a different way. So I am grateful, and that means you can choose to be grateful, and that means you can choose to be grateful. So what I'm going to say to you is to always remember that you can choose to have a grateful day.